Welcome back to the show, everybody. We got a great one for you today. What a difference a day makes. We got the information for today's telephonic hearing for you for the SEC and Ripple. Flare Networks, Flare Finance coming soon. Did you forget about it? Yeah, we're going to talk about it. Brian Brooks talks about some of the importance of things like Flare Finance without saying them. We're going to get into that because he covers some serious aspects that are missing from this crypto space, and we've talked about it a lot here on this channel. U.S. Treasury speaks to the IRS, and guess what it was about? Crypto enforcement. You better get your taxes straight. Ripple board member, 43rd treasurer is going to tell you what's up with XRP and crypto. And here's a little hint. You're going to like it. And we're also going to cover the XRP price, support and resistance. Where are we right now? We upside down? Are we right side up? Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to hear from the experts and they're going to let us know. Let's go ahead and roll that beautiful intro.
This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at @BackUpBradleyAbove and everything that we're talking about here. Let's go ahead and get started. 1.7 trillion plus for the cryptocurrency market cap. It's not a lot. It's not what we're used to. There's a lot of old money that's missing out of this space because we've been 2.5 trillion plus. So we're almost a trillion shy of old money, not new money, old money, let alone new money moving into this space. So we got a lot to recover before we even move on to new ground. Isn't that right? All right, here we go. 40,000 plus for Bitcoin this morning. Ethereum 2,600 plus. And we're looking at now Cardano at 171 plus. XRP at $1.12. We're off by 4.29% on the 24 hour. Now 4.74 on the 24 hour. And more than 20% right now on the 7 day. We know we've been bleeding. Little reminder, we covered it yesterday. The coin market cap has fixed the total circulating supply back from 35 billion to 46 billion. Thank you. And so has Coinbase. And by the way, Coinbase's circulating supply had been wrong the entire time as well. So that actually had a little more weight to it as to why we've been asking that question over the last several weeks. However, we are at 110 this morning for XRP. We've been ranging between 109 and 126 for our price. We will hear from the experts about support and resistance and whether we are still on target for all of those amazing price calls. $2.72, $5 plus, $9 plus, and $13 plus price targets. And you're going to like what they have to say. We have a lot of news, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't gotten this is later today, Friday at 2 p.m. If you're dialing in international, be aware of phone charges. Thank you to Jeremy Hogan for the information here, and ADA, IDA, I believe is how you say it. So thank you for that. And here is the information here. So make sure you know that and the code number. I will be tuning into that. Remember, anyone who is listening, do not record that and release it, and do not record it in any way. It is against the law, and they have made it very clear they will come after you if you do. So, all right, getting on to this. This is an amazing place to start. Shout out to you, John Deaton. You are a Hall of Famer for everything you do for the XRP space. So here we look at this. As usual, Julia is the sharpest financial journalist covering cryptocurrency. Man, is she right? We definitely need more of Brian Brooks' U.S. approach in government. How about it? But as she says in this thing, we can't have him in both places, unfortunately. But let's hear, I want you to hear, this is about 8 minutes, but we're going to hear the first half because the first half really sets the tone for what we're getting ready to talk about right after this. So let's hear what he says is missing still from this cryptocurrency space. And I think it is absolutely spot on. And he's not talking about regulations, although we need them.
Brian, always great to have you on the show. Let's start with some of the price action that we've seen this week, because I meant what I said there. Crypto, and I use the term loosely because there are a lot of different things in there, traded like a risk asset. And it feels like this is important.
Yeah, Julia, you're one of the smartest commentators on this, and I wish I could have captured that idea myself. I think that crypto generally traded like a risk asset yesterday. But in reality, most cryptos aren't risk assets. Bitcoin is really the risk asset, and it's risen a lot in the last 12 months because of the very inflationary issue you talked about. The problem yesterday is we're in a macro de-risking environment because it's not just inflation, but international tensions, questions from China, and a lot of other things that are causing people to shed all risk assets. Crypto will recover because inflation is baked into the system, but you'll have volatility along the way for sure.
The big difference, and there's a few of them here, and you've mentioned it, and I have too, is that there's differences in what we're talking about in terms of the ecosystem of the digital assets that we're talking about, and the names give you some of the differences. But it's also the amplitude of movement that we've seen in the crypto space, and that comes down to technical issues. Buyers and sellers in the market, the lack of ability to hedge in the crypto space, liquidity. Talk us through this, because this is also another vital aspect of what we're seeing here.
Here you go.
Yeah, what a great point that is. So if you were to overlay the Bitcoin price movements of the last 48 hours with the price movements of the Dow Jones or the S&P 500, what you'd find is the shape of those curves are very, very similar. The Dow dropped a lot yesterday. So did the S&P 500 over the last several days. So the difference is the amplitude. Why did those markets drop 2 or 3%, whereas crypto markets dropped 30%? And the answer to that is because there's a lot more price discovery in traditional asset classes. And that's because you have swaps and futures and shorting trades. The problem in the US is that none of the major exchanges have yet been allowed to offer some of those products that would offer more price discovery to the market, which would have the effect of damping some of the volatility. So we need to think really carefully about whether derivatives would help in this space by giving us more forecasting of where prices are going in the future. You have that for equities. You don't have that for Bitcoin at scale yet.
And there it is. We're talking about price discovery in the market. And the way to have that is not to really over-regulate the market to get it. You actually have to allow all these other products that could be tradable on top of the underlying asset. I talked about this more than 2 years ago. I went on and on and on about we need futures, we need call options, we need ETFs, right? We need puts, swaps, all these things to get the depth of liquidity into the market. And by the way, those are the products that you and I don't really understand, but institutional investors do. And that's how you get the liquidity in here as well as the price discovery. That's how young and new this digital asset class actually is. He goes on to talk about, and I'm going to play more importantly in the future, the rest of this clip in the second video, because I don't want to confuse the topics that we're covering here today. But the reality is that that's how you smooth out these markets, deepen the liquidity, because you need to bring in these products, and then you'll get true accurate price discovery on the asset. And guess what else helps? Because people won't invest in that particular asset or the products on top of that particular asset unless what? Unless you understand the actual protocol of that asset. What use case does it, what problem does it solve? What use case does it provide? Right? Because that's really what we're talking about here. We're moving to a new watermark when it comes to crypto. As you see more of these products come in, you'll see more liquidity deepen in the areas of these assets where they actually solve a problem. Write that one down. All right, let's move on here. We got a lot to go over. This also made me think of Flare Networks and Flare Finance. Talk about price discovery, talk about deepening the liquidity in the market, talk about adding products. Yeah, well, Doge community should be happy to know that Flare is going to have Dogecoin represented on the network, right? And you will be able to have the F asset of Doge, whether you like it or not. The reality here is shout out from Tom T here. He's a Hall of Famer. Shout out to Flare Finance and Trustline Incorporated, who announced today that users will earn F asset rewards while using those assets on their platform. Layering yield on Flare Networks ecosystem is going to take DeFi to another level. And I think Tom just nailed it here, because it's exactly what we're talking about. And this is very reminiscent on a retail way of deepening the liquidity in the markets without having to call option swaps and puts, but the ability to lock these assets up and to earn layering yields and compound interest in many, many different ways, really deepening the liquidity and helping to provide stable price discovery and stable liquidity by locking these assets up to earn rewards. It really is. And that's not far away, ladies and gentlemen. I think they said June or July, give or take 2 to 4 weeks one way or the other. So that's not that far away. And one has to wonder that with that not being that far away and knowing that telephonic hearing for discovery hearing today for SEC Ripple, will we see the settlement in a couple weeks by the end of the month? I don't know. Or will we go the distance and head to September, October? I have no idea, but I know one thing. It would be beautifully timed if Flare were to launch as we get a summary settlement or summary decision, which gives us a settlement in the Ripple case. Wouldn't that be just epic? But, we'll see what goes on from there. One thing we don't have to wonder about is what the U.S. Treasury is talking about when it comes to crypto. And they're calling for the IRS and cryptocurrency holders to come into compliance here. And, I'm reminded of Charles Gasparino from Fox News, that clip that was going around on Twitter, where he said that when they asked the current administration about crypto, they were pointed to the Treasury, not the SEC. Well, I think there's a lot going on that's getting sorted out back end behind the scenes in some closed door meetings like that Sunshine Act meeting with the SEC. Let's listen what's said here.
Well, Scott, the White House had proposed broad new tax information reporting requirements, and the Treasury Department said today that would include not just cryptocurrencies, but also crypto asset exchange accounts and payment services, and for businesses that receive crypto assets of $10,000 or more. Now, the Treasury Department is also projecting that it could lose out on $7 trillion worth of unpaid taxes over the next decade. That's roughly 15% of taxes owed. That tax gap was $584 billion in 2019, according to Treasury estimates released today. The bulk of that money was misreporting from income from sources like capital gains, partnerships, family farms. The Biden administration proposing to spend $80 billion to beef up IRS enforcement, specifically of wealthy households and corporations. Treasury projects that would allow it to capture $700 billion in additional revenue this decade, as much as $1.6 trillion over the next decade. The White House also proposing those new tax reporting requirements and saying they're going to be needed because cryptocurrencies are going to be so important as a unit of exchange in the decades to come.
Because cryptocurrencies are going to be so important as a medium of exchange in the decades to come. And we're in right now. And if that ain't good news, I don't know what is. The Treasury is acknowledging how important crypto is going to be as a medium of exchange for decades to come. Not financial advice, but it's at this point I start asking you if you hold assets that actually solve a problem, like a medium of exchange, like a neutral bridge asset, like XRP or XLM. Again, not financial advice, but the U.S. Treasury is acknowledging that these cryptos are going to be very important as we move through time. That is remarkable. Okay, now let's go here because it gets even better. Speaking about the Treasury, this is the former 43rd treasurer, 42nd or 43rd treasurer of the U.S. Treasury, and her name is on $1.69 plus trillion of the money floating around on Earth right now out of the 1.71 that's out there floating around. That is incredible. And she is now a Ripple board member, and she's about to tell you why she went to work at Ripple. Listen to this.
What do you think about cryptocurrency as a form of currency?
Well, I think the train's already left the station in terms of cryptocurrency. You may or may not know that I just joined the board of Ripple, and the reason why I chose to join that board, it's, in my opinion, one of the few cryptocurrency options out there that has a credible and legitimate use. So financial institutions use it to settle cross-border payments.
Thank you for coming. Right there it is, right there. I mean, she just laid it down. Shout out to Stephen W. Huber, who has been posting some incredible insights and perspectives on this market and where it is currently. And shout out to Chainsaw Jackson, who originally shared that tweet. That to me sums it up right there. You think a woman of this stature, this professional level in her career would not go from where she's been and all her accomplishments and go somewhere like Ripple, knowing they're being sued by the SEC and knowing that it could tarnish her career? Not for a second. I think it's more likely that the U.S. Treasury asked her to go there because they know that they could count on her. Because I think they understand that XRP is going to be money. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, write it down. I think it's real. All right, so here we go. Crypto Wizard XRP Daily Technical Outlook says XRP to BTC and XRP both closed bullish. XRP to BTC already closed above the old resistance target. I'm expecting more bullish price action from here. By the time Bitcoin finds support, XRP should be trading very close to 148. So, discussing the correlation between Bitcoin and XRP, it seems like they both will have a bullish price action from there. And once they find the support for Bitcoin, so we're going to see XRP possibly find support as well. Now we're going to hear some other information here too from Dark Defender, who's going to give us boots on the ground where those support and resistance are. And shout out to both Crypto Wizard and Dark Defender. They are both incredible. Here we see, as expected yesterday, XRP tried 130 and bounced back. The supports mentioned in the analysis, 93 cents, 88 cents, and 78 cents can be retested today. Can be. And tomorrow. These days will pass and we will be discussing our targets above. I wish you a great day. We wish you a great day, Dark Defender. And here it is right here. So you see the chart. In the 272 to 1333, they're all still in play. But it doesn't mean that we won't see us roll back in that price rollover, 93 cents, 88 cents, 70 cent range. You know, this is exactly what CoinsKid said as well. CoinsKid addressed this exact scenario and said the same thing. And I'm telling you, you know, this is amazing to me because I got to be honest. I mean, you know, these experts, these technical analysts out here have been calling this market very, very well and understanding for me that if I didn't have this information, I might feel like, what is happening to XRP price? I mean, ultimately, I know the goal. I'm just figuratively saying there's a lot of people out here that don't understand the markets or the charts or the fundamentals and things of that nature. And I think this helps bring a lot of comfort to people to understand that if we're ranging in this area, these targets above at 272 and 13 plus are not out of the question if we roll back and hit these support levels. Everything is still in play according to them. So not financial advice from me or anyone in this video, but I do want to tell you, I thank you for coming. Make sure that you actually check out all the links in the description box and the comment section. By the way, link to Private Investing Made Simple, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not aware, looky here, Uphold's still on the board, and they got great companies like Carbon. You could do mortgage online with Better. Carbon's making parts for Lamborghini, for God's sakes. Kraken sold out, so there it is. Just like that, it happens. Make sure you register and get with them, and they can help you out. What a great company that is, and I will catch all of you on the next one.